Hello friends, today we shall see the next point of Linux basics, that is directory handling commands. So the first command which we shall see today is mkdir. This command is used for creating or making directories. Directories are created with the mkdir command. So if you want to create a new directory, we are going to use the mkdir command. The command follows by the names of the directories to be created. So when you want to create a new directory, you should use the mkdir command and then follow or give the name of the new directory which is to be created. This command can create multiple directories at once as well as set the permissions for the directories. It is not that at one time we can create only one directory. With mkdir command you can create multiple directories and give the permissions like we have seen in the previous lectures, the read permission, write permission and execute permission for owner, group and other members. Okay, so with mkdir we can create a single directory as well as we can create multiple directories and also give the permissions for the directories. We shall just see an example of how to use the mkdir command. Now in this first example, at the bash prompt I have given mkdir command and the name of the directory which is to be created. This is the name of the new directory. If the directory already exists, then the operating system will give you the message that the directory is already there. If the name of the directory is already not there, it will be created. So this is the example of creating a single directory. Second example, at the bash prompt we are typing mkdir bcs then space bcs/program then space bcs/data. Now in this case multiple directories are created. So the operating system will first create bcs directory. In this bcs directory it will create subdirectory prg and one more subdirectory data. So firstly it will create bcs directory. In this bcs directory it will create program subdirectory and data subdirectory. So this is for single directory and this is for multiple directories. We shall now see the syntax of mkdir. Mkdir command, if you want you can give the different options which are available for mkdir command and the name of the directory which is to be newly created. We shall see more examples. Now in this case this is the syntax for creating multiple directories and we are going to use the option -v. So mkdir command -v option and then the name of the directories which are to be created. Now here is an example. At the bash prompt we shall type mkdir this option -v and 3 separate directories. The name of the first directory is 1, second is 2 and third is 3. These are 3 separate directories which will be created in your current working directory. So here you can see at the bash prompt, this is your terminal emulator. This will be your home directory. At the bash prompt we shall type mkdir/v 1, 2 and 3. You will get the message from the operating system: created directory 1, created directory 2 and created directory 3. When you will use the ls command, which is used for listing the contents of your directory, which we have seen in the previous lecture, you will be able to see these 3 newly created directories over here. Okay. To create several directories and subdirectories at the same time, we need to add the -p option. At the bash prompt mkdir -p new directory, in that we are going to create a subdirectory, and in this subdirectory we are again going to create one more subdirectory. So first this will be created inside this directory, this will get created inside this directory will get created. The -p option on the mkdir command makes any missing parent directories as needed. A parent directory is a directory that contains other directories at the next level down the directory tree. The user executing this command must have permissions to create a directory in the parent directory. If you have the permission for your directory, then only you will be able to create subdirectories in your parent directory. Okay, so with this we finish with the command mkdir. I hope you have understood how to create a new directory. Next we shall see the cd command. C stands for change, D stands for directory. So cd command we are going to use to change the current directory. We can move around in the file system by using the cd command. When used with an argument, it changes the current directory to the directory specified as the argument. We must have already used the cd command in DOS operating system. We shall see an example. At the bash prompt, you type cd and which directory you want to change. Then you will be able to see that your path has been set to home directory, your session directory, and the program directory which you have created previously. One more example, if you give the bash prompt cd bin, you will go to the root directory and then the bin directory in the root. When you want to switch to your home directory, we are going to give either cd without any options, or you can type cd and the tilde sign. These two commands will switch to your home directory from your present working directory. So the syntax for cd is cd and the name of the directory to which you want to change. When you call cd and specify a directory, that directory becomes the working directory. If you do not specify on the command line, cd makes your home directory as the working directory. So when you type at the bash prompt cd/, this command is used to change directory to the root directory. So you may be anywhere in the file system. With this command you will go to the root directory. Next example, at the bash prompt you type cd, the parent directory. Inside this parent directory your subdirectory. Inside this subdirectory one more subdirectory. This we are going to give the path to which directory you want to change. Next is cd ... This brings you one level down. So in this case, for example, you are now on this directory and you type cd ... You will come to this second level. That is, you will come out of this directory and come to this second level. Last example, at the bash prompt if you type cd ... to change the directory to parent directory of the current working directory. So now if you are on this path and you type cd dot, you will directly come to dir-1. So it will help to come to the parent directory of the current working directory. Next we'll move on to rmdir command, which is used to remove a directory. The rmdir utility deletes empty directories from the file system by removing links to those system. So if you want to remove any directory, we are going to use the rmdir command. But remember that there should be no subdirectories or files in the directory which you are going to remove or delete. So we are going to see the syntax rmdir and the list of directories which you want to remove or delete. We can also use the rm command with option and the name of the directories to remove or delete the directories. We shall see the first example. In this case, rmdir literature. In your current working directory, if you have a folder or a directory whose name is literature, it will remove this directory. If this literature directory has some contents in it, that is have some files or subdirectories, it will not remove this file, not remove this directory. Next, in this case we have specified the path for the operating system to understand which folder or subdirectory is to be deleted or removed. In this case, the rmdir command will remove the letters subdirectory, which is inside Jenny subdirectory, which is inside home directory. So here we have specified the path for the letters directory. To delete a non-empty directory and its contents. In this case, at the bash prompt rmdir -r and the directory name. R stands for recursive. So if you want to delete this directory name, whichever you have specified, and you want to delete the contents also of this directory. For example, if there is a directory lecture and inside this directory lecture you have some more files and subdirectories, you have to use the -r option. In this case, all the files will first get deleted inside this directory and then this directory will get deleted. So if you want to delete a non-empty directory and its contents, we are going to use the -r option. Next we are going to see RI option. I stands for interactive. Interactive means the operating system will ask the user if you want to delete the file, yes or no. If you press Y, the directory will get deleted. If you press N, the directory will not get deleted. In the previous commands, the operating system will not ask you whether you are going to delete the directory or not. But if you are going to use the I option, the operating system will ask you whether you are sure to delete this directory or not. So in this case you can use the option I. R stands for recursive. Suppose the directory name which you have given over here is non-empty, means you have some file subdirectories and some contents in this directory. You want to remove them as well as you want to remove this parent directory. We are going to use the R option. Now here we have combined two options, R and I. In this case, the operating system will ask the user for each and every subdirectory and each and every file whether you are sure to delete or not. Next example, in this case it will remove the two directories. First, subdirectory programs will get deleted. second subdirectory data will get deleted, and at last the parent directory BCS will get deleted. Here again we are using rm command to delete the subdirectory myd, which is in my directory. So here you can see we have created my directory by using the mkdir command. Then we have changed to this directory. You can see over here, now you are in my directory. Again I have created one more directory, dir1, in my directory, and then I have given cd ... means you will come one level down, you are coming out of the my directory, and then I have given rmdir -p my directory / my directory 1. So in this case rmdir will remove my directory 1 first, and then it will remove my dir. So now we shall see one more example. At the bash prompt we will type remove directory dir1, dir2, dir3. This will remove the directories if they are empty. If any of these directories are not empty, then an error message will be printed for that directory and other directories will be removed. Remove the directories, these 3 directories, if they are empty. If any of these directories are not empty, then an error message will be printed for that directory and the other directories will be removed. Remove the directory if it is empty, then remove directory if it is empty after first directory is removed. So now in this case, first this directory will be removed and then this directory will be removed. So with this we finish with the directory handling commands. Next we are going to see the last point, that is relative and absolute path. I hope you already know what is a path. A path is a unique location to a file or a folder in a file system of an operating system. A path to a file is a combination of / and alphanumeric characters. So we can give the path name in 2 ways. One is known as the relative path and other is known as the absolute path. First we shall see the absolute path. An absolute path is defined as the specifying the location of a file or directory from the root directory. So if you start giving the file name from the root, that is /, we say it is the absolute path name. To write an absolute path name, start at the root directory by giving a / and work down. Write a / after every directory name. An absolute path is defined as specifying the location of a file or directory from the root directory. So here you can see an example of absolute path name. We are starting it with the root, then the subdirectory, then a / and then the name of the file or more subdirectory. When you give the path name in such a way that is starting from the root, we say it is the absolute path name. The next is the relative path. Relative path is defined as the path related to the present working directory. It starts at your current directory and never starts with the /. Now we shall see an example of absolute and relative path. Suppose you are currently located in KT folder and you want to change your directory to home ABC folder. So if you are going to use the relative path concept, first we shall see that what is our present working directory. So by using the pwd command, we can see that we are in the KT folder and you have directly given CD ABC. So here you can see that I have not given /home/KT/ABC. I have directly given CD ABC. This is the way of using the relative path. Now we shall see the absolute path. By giving the pwd command, you will get your present working directory, and here you can see that for the CD command I have given the whole path right starting from the root. This is absolute path, this is relative path, and this is absolute path. So I hope you have understood the difference between relative path and absolute path. Thank you.